Today, I just learned about one of the most bafflingly unhinged criminal cases I've ever read or watched. And it's honestly made me disappointed in all of you for not making me aware of this situation sooner. Shame on you in particular for hoarding this filth to yourself and not letting me into the lunch table to learn about it with you. I'm talking about the wild case of Nicholas Alaverdian, otherwise known as Nicholas Rossi, aka Arthur Knight. This man's got more names than a phone book. He goes by many different gamer tags. I wouldn't be surprised if more aliases come to light and there's shit like Dark Ruler 52XX or something. And his story in this whole situation is an unbelievable, true story of absolute lunacy. Dateline recently ran a piece on the Nicholas Alaverdian situation, trying to untangle all of the wild web of mysteries that have been woven here. It is just vile, evil shit. Nicholas is a degenerate worm of a person, but he's also a goofball goober who came up with the dumbest idea ever when he was confronted with the reality of his crimes that he is accused of committing. He is accused of extremely serious charges. He is accused of raping multiple women in Utah. And he came up with this galaxy brain scheme in order to escape the repercussions. He faked his own death. He must have been inspired by Dino Spumoni from Hey Arnold, when Dino Spumoni faked his own death to increase record sales or whatever, but in this case, it was a lot darker than that. He faked his own death to get away from rape charges, and then he fled the United States. He was recently put back on the radar after he checked himself into a hospital for COVID-related symptoms. Eventually, pieces of this puzzle started falling into place, and authorities were able to connect the dots that, this guy claiming to be Arthur Knight may actually be this wanted fugitive that the US really wants to have extradited. And that's led to about a year-long battle with Nicholas Alaverdian or Arthur Knight or Nicholas Rossi in order to have him face justice for his actions. I'm going to go ahead and play you a quick clip from 5 months ago when a different news organization was covering the basics of the story, just to give you a more concise breakdown than what I just provided.
It was breaking news on 12 News this morning. A Scottish court has ruled that a man who goes by the name Arthur Knight is actually a Rhode Island man who faked his own death and is wanted on rape charges.
Kate, Nicholas Alaverdian, also known as Nicholas Rossi, claimed to have been the victim of mistaken identity and insisted his name was Arthur Knight. A court in Scotland ruled that evidence showed that was not the truth.
The person appearing before me is Nicholas Rossi, the person whose extradition is requested by the United States.
35-year-old Nicholas Alaverdian was arrested last year after checking himself into a Scotland hospital with COVID-19 symptoms.
So it's been this ongoing battle where he is claiming that it's a case of mistaken identity. He is not that guy wanted for rape charges. This is a huge misunderstanding. Everything's all cattywampus. You got it all wrong. That's an innocent man right there. Unironically pulling the old cartoon gag of wearing like glasses and a fake mustache and pretending that you're not the person of interest. Like the ultimate disguise.
In July, Knight was arrested again, and prosecutors matched his fingerprints to Alaverdian's. Friday, prosecutors of the Scottish court revealed they were able to tell he was Alaverdian after matching the tattoos on his arm.
I am ultimately satisfied on the balance of probabilities.
Alaverdian is accused of raping 2 women in Utah and sexually assaulting another in 2008.
I wanted to include that section from the broadcast because I didn't want to leave any wiggle room for some pseudo-intellectuals on Twitter to try and make some brain-dead argument about how the authorities got it wrong. They did do their due diligence in gathering evidence to try and confirm that these are the same person, that Arthur Knight is not real. That is not an innocent man. It is the same man who was wanted for those rape crimes. Like, it is not a case of, well, maybe they just didn't do enough. It's not like they just had one investigator, pounding cheeseburgers and wiping the grease on like some papers of Nicholas Alaverdian, and then he saw that after looking at a picture of Arthur Knight and he's like, Eureka, it's the same person, they look similar. That wasn't the case. They have the fingerprint evidence, they also match tattoos, they do have a good bit on their side to lend validity to the claim that this is the same person. But if you're still not sold on that, maybe the interview will be enough to get you on the right side of history here, because they have an interview with Arthur Knight, and it is one of the wackiest clips I've ever seen in a criminal case in all my days. It is gold. It is absolutely fucking extravagant. If this man isn't up for an Oscar this year, then the entire industry is dead and corrupt. Absolute unreal. That is a passionate performance. He is literally performing for his life right now. Like, this is high stakes. This clip is how I found the story, by the way. I thought what I was watching is James Corden's only entertaining piece of content ever. I thought it was James Corden playing a character. And I was like, wow, James Corden actually did a decent job. Like, this made me giggle a little bit. And I was like, holy shit, wait, this is real. Like, that whole segment where he's like, oh, you think it's fake that I can't breathe and can't walk? Well, then what do you say to this? As he, like, miraculously rises. He's like, well, watch this. Whoa! This whole thing really feels like a sketch from Whitest Kids You Know. The whole interview is unintentional brilliance. Also, hats off to his supporting actress here. She also does an amazing job. So, like, when he's going to stand up, she's like, oh god, no, don't do it, you're gonna die! You're just gonna kill him! Like, he's about to explode from standing up. She's like, no! As he, like, slowly begins his ascent out of the chair. Also fantastic. Very reminiscent of SpongeBob Rockbottom. I can't understand your accent. Except here it's gasps for air. Which, of course, is all part of the act, but I really appreciate that he's not afraid to draw clear inspiration from other art, such as SpongeBob. So I appreciate that. Also, the wambulance pulls up and he starts trying to get some tears out. He's not doing a good job of selling the crying. So if I was to critique his performance here, I would say he needs to work on getting tears out because his eyes are very dry. He doesn't actually get any moisture in there. He doesn't get any of his tear ducts firing, so that falls a little flat with the fake tears, but imagine if he was able to pull that off. This would have been a true combo of acting expertise, and it would have been one of the finest performances we've ever seen. Dynamic duo here, a power couple, the chemistry between them, the synergy is immaculate. So the interviewer asks, what do you say to people that are saying these are just crocodile tears and you're putting on a show? Without missing a beat, the woman there is like, oh, geez, come on, have some class. Can't you see this is a broken man we're dealing with? Oh, jeepers. Zoinks, come on now. Where's the professionalism? Really? You're gonna hurt his feelings. And this is the cue to Nicholas to immediately, go fucking hog wild into the fake crying. Which he's not great at, but it's complemented by the woman sitting opposite of him to kind of like egg him on and try and be there as like this shoulder to not cry on. So really just a fucking fantastic team they make. What a great pair. Now, unsurprisingly, the great acting here wasn't enough to get him an official pardon or anything, so it's still not looking great for Nicholas Alverdian at the moment, and here's hoping he will finally face justice for his crimes that he is accused of. This is just an incredibly wacky fucking story, and one that's been, like, many years in the making. Like, I'm shocked I've never heard anything about it, because this really feels like a pretty high-profile case, but maybe I've just been oblivious to it, or it just never really got the mainstream attention, which is just surprising, because it is really weird. The whole thing is very weird. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit after finding the clip and kind of going down the rabbit hole. That's really about it. So yeah. I've got a wild and wacky ride to take you on today, class, so hop in my magic school bus and kiss me on the lips. I'm Miss Frizzle, baby, and I hope you're ready to fuckle your seatbelts, because we're coming in hot. This is the story of how a Twitch streamer and GTA RPer named SavX faked his own death in order to distance himself from the GTA RP community. So, SavX was a GTA RP streamer on the NoPixel server. It's the server that I often frequented for my RPing. NoPixel, I love the community, absolutely fucking fantastic content, and SavX was a well-respected member of it. He built up a sizable audience on Twitch and had himself his own big community. I believe at the time of his faked death Chris Angel stunt, he had right around 1,500 subs on Twitch, which he just fucking wiped his ass with this. Just threw it all away for this fake fake death thing, which is like right out of Hey Arnold with that Dino Spumoni character who faked his own death to increase record sales, except this is 10 times as stupid. Fucking Dino Spudummy. I don't know what... okay, I'm getting a little sidetracked already because it's getting me a little heated. Sav played the Johnny Castle character on the server and was eventually banned for cheating because he was aimbotting in GTA. I don't know how much more sad you can be to fucking aimbot in an RP server in GTA. But they fucking busted him, they threw him in the slammer, and they permabanned him. Now, just real quick, permabans don't usually mean like forever, you can never come back, because they do believe in second chances in most cases. So he was banned for the cheating, but I'm sure he could have come back to the community at some point if he wanted to. A couple friends of his decided to check in a couple months later, and they posted these messages.
Conclusion that this is not Sav writing this. Sav passed away Christmas afternoon. This message is being written and sent out now through my brother's email after obtaining access to his PC. He's gotten numerous emails, messages since November with individuals worried about him from a gaming community, from what I've come to gather. Although the nature of the emails all seem different, we'd like this, the individuals who have reached out to know he's in a better place now. And we thank you all for keeping him in your minds.
There was also this Twitlonger posted by somebody else in the community that was close to Sav, which confirmed that Sav had passed away. The news of Sav's passing was extremely sad, and the NoPixel community really felt the loss. There's this tribute video that was made to Sav. His fans were absolutely inconsolable, really mourning his death. His close friends in the server were mourning his death. They had an in-game memorial for Sav in order to honor his memory, and overall people were just really feeling the sadness over Sav's passing. There's also this memorial stone in the game that has the name of players who have passed away in order to immortalize them in the world and the community and honor their memory, and you can see Sav X is on there. So you can imagine lying about something like this and causing this kind of emotional ripple effect would make you the most extreme piece of shit possible. Like a piece of shit that took a shit, then got puked on and hit by a garbage truck. That would be the piece of shit you'd be to lie about something like this, right? That's exactly what Sav is. He is that putrid pile of dog shit, because he lied about all of it, and the server owner, Coil, started to have his suspicions and piece things together and eventually confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt that Sav X is alive and completely lied about the entire thing. So I'm going to take you through some of the clips where Coil starts going over things that don't make sense until he ultimately reaches the conclusion where he hires a professional to confirm it.
I don't know if you guys know who whose this Twitter is, okay? It's Sav's, all right? Joined January 2021. Okay, so I don't know if you guys knew the date of when he had passed, but this is after he'd passed away. So you go to his Twitter, which is linked to his Twitch page, and it also says this. We did some searching with his name to try and find obituaries and stuff. I know, like I said, this is weird. Everything says to me that he's not actually dead. But there's also this weird shit that ran me to DeLong. Now we had this for a while, and this was literally 2 weeks ago, right?
So let's go through these Discord screenshots for just a moment. Rami was one of Sav's closest friends in the community, and then eventually just tells him that he faked it all, even hitting him with a pog, "Oh, I faked it all," as if all of it is just so entertaining to watch people genuinely mourn him. So he says that he knows people actually think he's dead, and then he just says, "But you know I'm toxic as fuck." Let me just hop in here for a quick PSA. If you're one of those insufferable douchebags who self-identifies as toxic or "I'm an asshole," whoa, can't do anything about it, sorry, just me being me, I'm just an asshole, I can promise you whatever friends you think you have are not your real friends. They probably don't like you very much and will not actually defend you ever, and that is exactly the case with Sav. Nobody likes the guy who's proud of being an asshole Nobody. Not even like-minded assholes, because then your assholes collide into like this human centipede formation and you just don't get along well. It's like the same polarity on magnets, you just repel each other. Nobody likes that, and I promise you, you don't have friends if you are one of these people. You just don't. You can tell Rami is upset here. He pushes, saying you could have just wrote out your ban, but Sav says he needed to do this. He wanted to be done with the community and shit, and then says, but dog, pog-o. Because he finds this whole thing to be a joke, like genuine mourning from people he finds to be some kind of joke. So this dude's just fucking sick. He defends it by saying he just wanted to be done with the whole community and all of that, and he just wanted to move on from it. But Sav, I think you're probably one of the dumbest streamers to ever stream on Twitch, because you weren't just done with the NoPixel community, you killed an entire career. 1,500 subs? That's more money than most people working real jobs will ever see in a month. 1,500 subs a month, not even counting donations. That puts you in the $3,000 to $6,000 range a month. And you fucking put it in your butthole to kegel it as a regret for the rest of your life because you got upset at the NoPixel community for banning you. And you had a little fucking temper tantrum and cried a little bit, and you wanted your revenge. Oh, I'm gonna fake my own death to make them all feel bad for banning me. Yeah, they'll miss me now. And you just threw away an entire career. Even getting banned, you could have just transitioned to another game. And like Rami said, just write out your ban, because permabans aren't forever. You can come back from them. Fucking XQC's been permabanned like 30 times, and I'm sure he'll be back again soon. Because people grow. They get better. They learn from mistakes. XQC, every time he gets banned, he comes back and he does incredible RP, does great work. And I'm sure it probably would have been the same for you if you could learn to stop cheating, I suppose. But to do this is so fucking psychopathic and just downright stupid, I can't believe it. You threw away a career for nothing. Like, you have streaming GTA RP. That's like a dream job for 99% of the world, and you threw it away because you got upset that you were banned. So stupid. Now, I would like to address what some people will likely speculate, that maybe he was hacked and he actually did pass away. Maybe his Discord, his Twitter, and his Twitch were all hacked at the same time, and they sent that message to Rami. I think the likelihood of that is extremely small, and especially considering that Coil himself put the whole thing to rest with a complete conclusion, hiring a professional to find him in the real world and confirm that he is truly alive.
We got someone to investigate some shit, like hired a guy or people, and it's 100% confirmed that he's alive, by the way. There's literally zero doubt. Actual evidence, okay? So we got all this information, but obviously I can't release it because that's pretty much doxing. But we know everything about him, like names, addresses, and all that shit. And,
So that's where this story is at so far. I trust Coil when he says that he confirmed it. This guy is an extremely thorough man. He does everything to the best possible ability that can be done to. So if Coil says that there is no doubt whatsoever that Sav faked the whole thing, then I truly do believe that. And that is so sad that someone could be so pathetic to fake their own death because they were upset about a ban in a game. How dumb can you fucking be? It's crazy. But yeah, so this was quite a wild ride. I was following this story as it developed, and from only a week ago he was only speculating based off of these weird things with the Twitter account and all of that, to now being completely confirmed. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's about it though. See ya. It's been a few years since the last time we took a peek at the Dobre brothers' content. I actually completely forgot about them, but today I was reading about a bunch of teenage girls that were melting down and crying, losing their minds because they thought one of the Dobre brothers, Marcus, had committed suicide. And it's all because of this video here. My twin brother is dead? Now, you may remember a couple years ago, it was actually a pretty popular trend for YouTube pranksters to fake a suicide in order to play an epic prank on their significant other. Of course, it was all fake, the significant others were in on it, but the audience that watches this dog shit is too young to realize that. So when they see things like this, they get really sad. When you scroll into the comment section of this video, it's nothing but these kids going, "I couldn't stop crying. I spilt milk all over my diaper. I was so afraid Marcus got banished to the Shadow Realm." Shaking their fist in the sky. "Give him back, God. We need Marcus on this earth." And then they'll make like a reply to their comment like, "Just finished the video. So glad it's a prank. They got me good." And you know, I can't even blame them for being fooled by the Dobre brothers. They're such great actors, I was almost convinced Marcus took his own life. Let's go ahead and check out the video. Dobre brothers shit ever. They actually act like they've all been lobotomized. The dude literally says, "I just got a letter from Marcus," and then goes on to say, "I don't know what this is. I guess it's a note from Marcus or something." It's like in fucking 50 First Dates with that guy that can only remember 3 seconds of any sentence. It's fucking crazy. It's clearly there just to like pad out the time of the video to breach 10 minutes, but goddamn, it's infuriating. All of their videos are like this too. It just reminds me of Dora the Explorer. "Do you see a bridge?" And then the kids are like, "It's right there, Dora. You're literally fucking looking at it, you dumb idiot. Right there." Like all the Dobre brothers do the same shit where it's like, "This is what it is. It's a note from Marcus. You guys know what this could possibly be? This letter from maybe Marcus?" How it just starts with "put this on YouTube" and then goes on to explain that he's no longer going to be living anymore. He's going to commit unalive. Why the fuck would he want that put on YouTube? For the Dobre brothers, everything's content, even seppuku. This would be like if Kurt Cobain in his suicide note was like, "Hey, by the way, guys, I'm going to film this. If you could go ahead and air this tape on Nickelodeon, that'd be great."
"Lucas, please split our money with our family."
Talking about these two loved their fans so much that they convinced them that Marcus died from suicide, an extremely serious topic. An audience that still believes in the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny has now been fooled by the Dobre brothers into thinking Marcus took his own life. Get pranked, nerds. Even in the comment section, there were a lot of kids saying like, "Hey, this is a little far. We're glad Marcus is alright, but it's not okay to joke about something as heavy as suicide." So even they were calling them out on it a bit. But, you know, when you watch the video, it's hard not to get invested with an incredible performance like Lucas is able to deliver here. Oh no, Lucas is going through the 5 stages of grief here. He's in the denial phase right now. Then, of course, comes the lit phase for the Dobre brothers, and then the too lit phase, finally the ultra lit phase, and then the 5th stage of grief in the Dobre brothers household. A fat fucking Gangnam Style. They'll probably hit the floss pretty soon as well. It's rough, you know, it's a heavy letter that he received, so he's doing his best to try and process everything in his own way. I'm usually not a fan of spoilers, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get this one out there. In the note, he says, "I left you something in the backyard." Let me show you what he left them in the backyard. Real ace team of detectives here on the case. I just finished LA Noire, streamed all of it, twitch.tv/moistcritical. Come stop by, stream every day, put a few extra inches on your penis. And I can tell you, after investigating so many cases in there, everything they're doing here, textbook. These are some real crack shot here. Move over, Sherlock Holmes, because the Dobre brothers are coming in. They're going to solve the Zodiac killer, the Black Dahlia murderer. They're going to fucking take everything by storm. This group right here is like the real world L from Death Note. Their combined intelligence can rival that of the world's greatest minds. I love how they attack this conundrum here and the way they try and deduce whether or not their brother is truly dead and buried there. So the first thing that, I believe his name is Darius, first thing he says is, "Well, the ground would be smushy," and it's not smushy, and he just kind of like stands on the ground and he's like, "Well, I'm not sinking, so it's probably, you know, not smushy." Then the next smoking gun is, "Wait a minute, if he's dead, how did he write the note?" So I like to put myself in this situation here. So let's say I was called to the scene, right? You know, I come up, I got my pipe, and I'm like, so there's a mystery afoot here, you know. I got the mystery gang with me, Scooby-Doo and the crew. So the first thing I'd start asking is, how did this happen? You know, did he have help? Because let's say he truly is buried there, and the perpetrator's got this Party City Halloween decoration tombstone on top of him. How did this happen? Because there's no way he did it himself. If it was truly suicide, he wouldn't have been able to like bury himself alive that deep. It would have been extremely hard, you know. That takes a lot of work, which means there would have been someone helping him, or perhaps foul play and someone murdered him and then forged a suicide note to make it look like a suicide. So there, you know, I'd start pointing fingers at the entire family. It'd get messy. Emmy Award for the performance in this short, then the entire organization is corrupt. This is a stellar performance right here. Up there with some of the greats. This is amazing. Like, when I first watched this, I was on the edge of my seat like, oh my god, Marcus could be anywhere. And Lucas is going to find him. You can hear the desperation in Lucas's voice. You can see how desperately he wants to find his brother, you know? He doesn't want to accept that maybe Marcus has left the corporeal realm. He still thinks there's a chance Marcus is either in his room, hiding under the bed, maybe he's standing in the backyard playing some basketball. But the situation's not looking great right now. They've checked Marcus's room, they've checked the laundry room, they've checked the second laundry room, they've checked the third laundry room, they've checked the butler's room, they've checked the second butler's room, they've checked 5 living rooms, they've checked 14 garages, they've checked the backyard, and they haven't found him. Luckily, all hope isn't lost yet. They haven't checked the whole house. They've only done about half so far. They still haven't even gone to the helicopter pad to look for him there, so they've tried calling him to no avail. He didn't answer, which is very uncharacteristic of Marcus, but they've gone to all of his usual hangout spots and they haven't seen him yet, so this is just not looking amazing. Yeah, Darius, there is something in the sky. It's called heaven, and Marcus just went up there to make it a little bit more lit. I don't know why no one in this family can just, like, read and comprehend what they're reading. It's like they're reading it out loud, but it's not actually entering their brain. So they just keep like repeating the stupidest questions of all time. I understand, again, it's just to like pad out the length of the video, but god damn, it is deeper here because Darius says, if my brother left me, I'd be worried. But this is your brother, isn't it? I was under the impression they were all brothers, but him saying that has really confused me. Because it seems like that wasn't like him misspeaking. Maybe they really like aren't related. I don't know. But now I'm just fucking lost here in the lore of the Dobre brothers. I'll spare you their little scavenger hunt outside. It's pretty painful. They don't do anything. The most that happens outside is one of them kicks an icicle. And that's about it. Finally unveiled to the audience. And shucks, he got us good. He really did. He had me going. I really thought he had, you know, left this plane of existence. It was just so well executed, and he really committed to the prank. He flew all the way to LA just to pull off this bad boy, the magnum opus of practical jokes. An amazing banger from the Dobre brothers again. I just wanted to share this because I thought it was real silly. That's about it. So yeah. There's a lot of bad news in the world, so allow me to cleanse your palate with some good news. A very tasty treat for you today. 8 months ago, I made a video covering the story of a Rhode Island criminal named Nicholas Alaverdian. Nincompoop Nicholas here tried to avoid punishment for his crime, and he fled the country after faking his own death. It wasn't an elaborate fake death ruse, it wasn't a galaxy brain scheme. He didn't exactly call up best quality vacuum from Breaking Bad and order a Hoover Max or anything. But he was successful in leaving the United States and evading authorities, and he started a new life with a new alias, Arthur Knight, which was only one of many names that he went by. He was changing his name more frequently than kids used to on Club Penguin. But Arthur Knight was by far his most used alias. Now, it's important that I tell you what charges he was trying to run away from. Rape charges. You see, Nicholas Alaverdian, Nicholas Rossi, Arthur Knight, all one and the same. A rapist. He faked his death in 2020 by feeding media outlets a bunch of baloney and horseradish about how he's about to die, he's about to meet his demise, but the reality was, he was just trying to get out of the country while the authorities were investigating the rape allegations. So he did get out of the country, and he tried very hard to bury his past, but in 2021, he had to check himself into the hospital for COVID-related symptoms, and that's when the authorities were able to identify that this patient is actually the wanted U.S. fugitive Nicholas Alaverdian. And while parading around as Arthur Knight, he tried desperately to convince people that this was all a complete misunderstanding, or that he had been framed, claiming that it was all part of a grand conspiracy to connect him, the innocent Arthur Knight, to this rapist, Nicholas Alaverdian. He kept trying to insist that it's a miscarriage of justice what's happening to him, it's wrong, it's outrageous. But it's not like they just gave it the old eyeball test or the smell test to connect him. They had every piece of hard evidence possibly required to say beyond a shadow of a doubt that these are the same person. They had DNA evidence. He had identifiable tattoos that they were easily able to connect to Nicholas Alaverdian. Like, they had everything, fingerprints, all of it, the whole kit and caboodle. And the judge even said as much as well.
In July, Knight was arrested again, and prosecutors matched his fingerprints to Alaverdian's. Friday, prosecutors of the Scottish court revealed they were able to tell he was Alaverdian after matching the tattoos on his arm.
I am ultimately satisfied on the balance of probabilities.
And even in the face of overwhelming evidence against him, he kept trying. Like the world's worst anime character refusing to give up, Nicholas Alaverdian kept desperately trying to convince even a single soul on this planet that it was all just a misunderstanding. He's Arthur Knight, damn it, not Nicholas. So he now has this infamous interview he did where he tried to prove it. That really was a low blow to say that it's all just putting on a show and an act. It's more than that. He's out here with a fucking performance that would make every thespian troupe in America jealous. This is Oscar-worthy material that we're working with here. To suggest that it's just a show or an act, it's disrespectful, honestly. This is one of the finest, most convincing pieces of anything I've ever seen in my fucking life. But as you might imagine, this didn't work super well. Nobody believed this. Actually, nobody on the fucking planet believed this. However, he does travel with his supporting actress here for this interview, where she sits next to him and she's like trying to calm him down, like, no, don't do that. Not that death-defying stunt where you stand up. Oh, you're gonna hurt yourself, dear. Please, no. No! Like panicking when he stands up and starts, you know, wacky inflatable tube manning his arms around, like he's getting hit with an earthquake or something. So he does have her traveling with him, I guess, to try and make it seem more credible, I guess. Clearly, it doesn't work. So anyway, what is the good news here? Well, the good news is Nicholas Alaverdian is being extradited to the U.S. He is finally going to face the punishment that he has eluded for so long now. U.S. fugitive accused of faking his death to avoid rape charges, extradited from Scotland. In case you don't know who this is, let me pull up his infamous interview where he tried to prove that he is not the rapist. So that little song and dance he tried to put on for the thespian troupe, it's coming from a very bad man. It's not exactly like, you know, some minor offense or anything that he's trying to weasel his way out of with that. The man known in the U.S. as Nicholas Rossi, whose legal name is Nicholas Alaverdian, is charged with sexually assaulting a former girlfriend in Utah in 2008. He also faces multiple complaints against him in Rhode Island for alleged domestic violence. Rossi was 36. Rossi, 36, was Utah bound on Friday and will stand trial in Utah County for felony rape charges. The man said he was framed by authorities who took his fingerprints while he was in a coma so they could connect him to Rossi. He repeatedly appeared in court in a wheelchair using an oxygen mask and speaking in less than convincing British accent. I'm glad they didn't just let it go. I'm glad that they did fight to get him back so that he could finally face punishment. I can't believe Arthur Knight could be slandered like this. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. Now, even amidst all of this, he still has the gall to continue to state that it's a case of mistaken identity and that he is an Irish orphan named Arthur Knight. That's his story, and he's sticking to it, even though he is dead to rights with the overwhelming jaw on the floor too, that he would even try to say something like that. That is the most nonsensical story ever told. Let's just go ahead and play with that idea for a moment. Why would a hospital staffer take your fingerprints and send them to Utah, of all places? Again, he is not in the United States. Why would they send his fingerprints internationally to Utah to just frame a random guy? What kind of fucking conspiracy would that be? And then also, who the fuck would tattoo a man in a coma at a hospital just to connect him to the guy in Utah again, this Arthur Knight academic Irish orphan? Like, what is, like, I don't know why he thought anybody in the world would believe this. Not even the most delusional individual would hear this and think there is an iota of truth to it. Yet he continues to stick with that story. It's fucking wild. But again, he has been extradited to the US now, so he will finally be facing punishment that is long overdue. So that's good news, and I just had to give you the update to this. That's really about it. So yeah. Okay. Let's start with the Island Boys. The only thing that I know about the Island Boys outside of course, their chart topper is they used to do cameos for the US military where they try and recruit people. So people would pay them from the US military to like shout them out and try and get kids to join the military. And then there was Sergeant Vasquez, who paid the Island Boys to appeal to his upper management about not kicking him out. So that was pretty cool.
The Island Boys were instantly judged as two talentless bozos who had covered themselves in tattoos.
True.
And as a result, people began to follow them for their stupidity as opposed to their talent.
And I think they're entertaining, and I follow them because they're entertaining. I love to see the stupid shit that they say.
Now, the difference between the Island Boys and someone like 6ix9ine is that while 6ix9ine also got famous in part by his over-the-top ridiculous appearance, he actually has a decent portfolio of music.
His music usually did really
hate on
well on the
6ix9ine,
charts.
but only in the beginning. He then becomes well known, people check out his music, and then some
A bit curious, has there been an example of someone who started as like a punching bag and then got famous for it and never fell off? Because think of all of your most popular memes and most popular like lol cows. It only works for like maybe a couple months. It never lasts forever. Oh, actually, that was a really bad baby. Yeah, that started as Dr. Phil, people making fun of her. And she's had an extremely successful career as a result. You're right. Anyone else, though? I don't know why people keep saying Justin Bieber. His career was music. Shitty music, for the most part, sure. But people like the music. Nobody ever liked the Island Boys music. They only ever made fun of them. So that doesn't really count. People that literally only existed to be made fun of and then had a successful career as people to just keep making fun of. That's what the Island Boys were. It's not like they had... Like, a lot of people got their start as a joke, but also contributed something that people might actually like music or whatever. They haven't done that. Joji. What are you talking about? Joji was an extremely popular YouTuber. I think the only actual example is actually going to be Bad Baby.
Think about a hater. A hater is watching you sometimes more than a person that loves you. Yeah, and if they're hating on me, it's just because they really love me. Because I see the haters check up on me more.
Didn't they also like lose their mind here and get upset?
It's people kind of hold against you as a grudge is that like, your image is crazy and you're sort of famous, but maybe the music isn't necessarily the reason why you guys are so known.
Right.
One of the Island Boys would go on to state that the other reason they had so many haters was because of jealousy.
Just hating on me or whatever.
That's always the one.
Jealousy, either that because I'm not really doing nothing.
Which is just another.
Everyone always says that. Like when someone's getting a ton of like backlash, the immediate thing they fall back on is jealousy. It reminds me of shit people or parents would tell their kids in middle school if they were just getting bullied. It's like, yeah, they're jealous. I was like, nah, maybe your kid's a loser. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, it's just, I guess growing up, you just get told if someone's being mean, it's because they're jealous or whatever.
I worked my ass off. It's not even just the Island Boys. It's the fact that we went through so many obstacles, it was just bound to happen.
Now, it'd be a cheap shot to say that there was no hard work. I'm sure the Island Boys had to have put
no, you can say that with confidence.
That mega viral video.
There was no hard work.
In the singing.
And this is one of the
in the singing?
The only ones that are talented in the singing.
And this is one of the strangest parts about...
Is that what he said? In the singing? Oh, in the scene. Oh, in the scene. Okay. Now, have they... I guess I'll look it up real quick. Do they actually make music? Because, again, all I know them for now is they just do recruitment for the U.S. Army through Cameo. Island Boys get booed on stage. That sounds about right.
So basically, when I was locked up, I was probably one of the only people in the dorm that knew how to rap, that knew how to freestyle, but didn't care. I think me as a rapper, my music is underestimated though. Yeah, for sure.
What music? Do you make music?
Rap, whatever.
Going back to the Impulsive podcast, the Island Boys seemed pretty proud that they had paved their own path after Mike would ask them about which rappers they had been inspired
So another thing though, and it didn't help, they were also harbinging or giving, what the fuck was the charge? They had a murderer stay with them, right? A guy had just killed someone and the Island Boys said, yeah, you can just stay here for a while to lay low. What was the charge? Was it aiding and abetting? So it's not just that they're unlikable, which they are, and untalented, which they are. It's that they also make the dumbest fucking decisions of all time. He killed a child? Yeah, I guess so. I don't remember the story, but yeah, apparently an 8-year-old girl was the victim. It was a drive-by shooting.
Is that why you guys have such a unique sound?
Yeah. We don't listen to
That's
rap.
So nice to call it a
Nowadays,
unique sound.
I used to listen.
I agree with you guys to an extent of not like
being swayed
Dude,
by,
they're just fucking with
other
them.
people,
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like the current winners in the culture act as like guardrails and guidelines for what you do with your craft.
Mike is 100% correct here.
I think if God forbid it doesn't go in your guys' direction, for real, I think you guys take all of your jewelry assets and invest it in something. So you guys will never ever
Oh,
be
yeah, have you heard of
After storming
NFTs?
out of their emotional response to what George had to say is also a pretty good indication that the Island Boys are probably pretty unwise and insecure when it comes to their financial situation.
So what are they doing on TikTok now? I haven't checked in a long time, actually. Let's see. They're the Island Boys on... No, they're not. What are they? They're Kodiak something, actually. Oh, Fly Soldier. Oh, boy. Their views are not doing well. Oh, boy. Alright, what's this one? This is... Y'all got room for one more.
Y'all got room for one more. Well, to become an Island Boy, you gotta be special. You gotta have talent. You also have to look a certain way. You gotta be cleaned up at all times. And then you also have to, you know, entertain us. Because the Island Boys, me and him, like to be entertained by people. And so, you gotta really have the
What is that, like a court jester then?
have the drip, criteria. And criteria...
I can't believe they're not doing well. That sounds fucking amazing. Oh my god, they did recruit a third Island Boy. Yeah, it looks like they recruited a third Island Boy. Welcome to the family, man. Yeah, they're struggling though. Sonny is not wrong. They're not breaking 100K on all their videos anymore.
Be sustained, or if that could be translated into a successful career long term.
Before going on to...
Again, people keep saying music artists they don't like. People unironically listen to someone like Lil Pump. No one unironically listens to the Island Boys. That's the difference. Lil Pump was a joke. People made fun of him, but then he kept making music that some people liked. Now, do I agree with him? No, I think they are objectively wrong with their opinion. If you like Lil Pump, you just know that you are wrong. And you make me sick. But people do like it. Nobody listens to the Island Boys. That's the difference. They don't even make music, from what it seems like. It seems like they just sit in a jacuzzi and ask people to join the Island Boys.
Possible. I doubt he's making any new money like how Island Boys are. We are successful and happy in life.
Which would be followed.
Also, a little heads up, I don't think the Island Boys have much money to begin with. Just as a quick peruse through their TikTok, it seems like the only money they make is when the US Army hires them to do a cameo for recruitment. And you can't really monetize TikTok. The Creator Fund, I think, pays out, what is it, $1,000 per like 20 million views or something? It's something absurd. And they're not getting 20 million views a month. So I don't think that they're pulling that kind of money. I could be wrong, though. It's been a long time since I looked at the TikTok Creator Fund. All I know is that it's not very good. It's a little better than the YouTube Shorts Creator Fund, but not by much. Charlie, you're wrong. Bro, I have a channel that has shorts on it. You know how much money that makes a month on just shorts? Less than $100 sometimes. And that's off of like 30 million views on the shorts a month. And the TikTok Creator Fund is just a little bit better than that. So I can extrapolate to a certain degree.
It's short-term hustling. And we've seen this exact same quote-unquote business model, I guess you could call it, being done, but this doesn't last.
Nice. And it didn't. It does not seem like it lasts. But they gave it their best. God damn it. That jacuzzi wasn't gonna get satin in itself. Yeah, we'll watch this one. I don't know anything about the 1,000 Pound Sisters because I think it's just a really sad thing. But I am very curious to see about this scam.
Yesterday, Tammy went into the hospital. She has pneumonia and she can't breathe. I set up a GoFundMe account if y'all can donate a penny.
The Slayton sisters would turn their entire audience against them through controversy after controversy, peaking with one of the most ambitious scandals in YouTube history, a GoFundMe for Tammy Slayton's funeral, who hadn't...
That is bold.
However,
that is very bold.
Known more about these two sisters prior to the beginning of their channel, each of these controversies could have been easily predicted. So when they first began their channel, they were liked. The sisters built an audience through their strong family bond, positive attitude, and ability to laugh at their own shortcomings.
We need to lose weight to become skinny.
We don't care if you don't like us, we're fat and we love it.
They weren't exactly the sharpest tools in the show.
I've never heard them speak. They sound like the Kanker sisters.
I'm fat.
And the fact that they were kind of doing YouTube for themselves. It didn't seem like they were trying to impress anyone. Love when a girl isn't afraid to be herself. I applaud you. Finally, a real person doing a review. Love it. Keep them coming. However, when examining the video's thumbnail and dislike ratio, it was pretty obvious that it had gone viral as a result of people watching to laugh at their physical appearances.
Tell his name.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I think is really sad about the whole situation, and especially the TLC show. It's just literally just so people can point and laugh at them. like, and that enables them to keep killing themselves. I don't know, I just find that whole thing to be sad. That's why I don't ever really watch it or try and learn about it. I just think the whole situation's really morbid.
Proposal. The audience sends a bit of money through, the sisters get a new laptop, and in return the audience gets a higher average video quality.
That's that shit you see sometimes, like, if everyone that follows me gives me $1, just $1, we'll be good.
The whole MacBook thing was not my idea, it was a friend of mine's idea. I didn't even edit the video or anything.
Damn it!
Is down.
However, while Amy did receive a bit of hate, the operation will prove to be successful after raising over $833, showing the Slayton sisters that it was not only possible—
What? How expensive is a MacBook Pro? They were asking for $10K? Bro, what does that shit go for? What?
The other problem that the Slayton sisters encountered after growing an audience was that they could now be held accountable for the stories that they shared throughout their videos. Think about a situation in which she had adopted a German Shepherd rescue dog before leaving it in a camper van on a hot summer's day. Now, Amy would state that
the camper has AC in it, and we only put him in there for like 30 minutes. And who are y'all to judge me?
However, when Amy would then reveal that the dog had gone crazy inside and smashed the air conditioning unit just to get out, her audience assumed that maybe the AC wasn't on and that the dog was
probably wasn't on.
It had been overheating inside. This theory would be supported further after
Jesus
Amy revealed
Christ.
that the dog had bit. However, with the bite mark being so severe and Amy taking the dog to the pound, whilst using the wording that the dog was no longer with her, the audience assumed that Amy had taken the dog to the pound to have it put down, resulting in the popular opinion that Amy was
fuck her.
abuser. I can't
Jesus
imagine this
Christ.
woman owning a German Shepherd. Shepherds need tons of activity both physically and mentally. She couldn't even take care of herself, let alone
I see why a lot of people do not like them.
breed. The sentiment will become even worse when, at a later date,
Well,
Tammy
now
would
I feel
upload a
absolutely
video
no
talking
sympathy
about the
for her.
celebration of her birthday at a gaming arcade, mentioning in passing that she felt sorry for their other dog, Little Bit, who had been left in the hot car whilst they were inside playing games.
Oh my
I
god.
feel bad for a little bit because she sat outside in the hot car while we were having fun. But I did, while we were at getting something to eat, I did get a little bit some ice water. So I thought about her, at least. Amy said I was going to get her some water.
Wow.
What a selfish, disgusting bunch of people these three are. Poor
What an
little
absolute
dog.
piece of
I'm surprised
shit.
Little Bit is still— Amy would find herself in yet another controversy after going on a date with a 19-year-old autistic kid at a local McDonald's.
Y'all know that I had the worst night ever Friday, and it was a horrible night. It started off good. We met each other. Well, it wasn't the first time we met. Don't think that. I'm not that type of person.
As mentioned, in the beginning the date seemed to have been going well,
What
to the
the
extent that
fuck?
Amy and her date decided
So I was giving him a hickey, and he was like, quit biting me, and I'm like, I'm not biting you.
Oh, this is worse than Amy Schumer talking about her vagina. Oh my god. Oh. Oh wow. Hold on. I need a break. I'm gonna splash like holy water in my fucking face or something. Just give me a second. I'll be right back.
during the intimate moment, he would take to Facebook, posting a status written in an ancient hillbilly dialect, which will receive a response from Amy about the size of his penis.
Wait, I want to read this. Damn, sounds like it wasn't like trying to give him a hickey. She was trying to like Dracula this man. Good lord.
I hope y'all guys are happy. David just broke up with me.
Nice.
Because everybody was harassing. Now y'all see why I don't tell people who I'm dating. Because y'all bully and harassing. And then he dosed.
And while this would mark the end of Amy and Tammy's reputational-based scandals, it would ironically mark the beginning of what would be many financial controversies,
Oh my God.
beginning when their audience discovered the merch site was suspicious from the very beginning and read as follows. If you purchase Tammy's merch, you'll be added to a private group chat with Tammy. To purchase, head over to the donate section, and they're definitely scamming the tax system and sliding money to Tammy so she can sell disability from what it seems.
Wait,
I support
what?
a good side hustle.
What? Bro, that's kind of big brain for Tammy. That's very interesting. That is not her idea. Someone must have actually like told her about that shit. That's kind of smart. Because it doesn't count as income at that point.
This feels like a way to scam the IRS somehow. I didn't sell anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It got worse when fans would come to realize that the sisters hadn't been paying the artists who had completed the designs for the merch. However, this still doesn't make it the most notorious controversy in the Slayton sisters' history, bringing us to the infamous funeral scam.
This is what we got the
When
cliff
Tammy,
notes on
who was the
earlier.
heavier of the two sisters, fell over in the bathroom before waking up the following day without the ability to breathe.
Told me I had pneumonia and I was gonna have to stay in the hospital.
Whilst in the hospital, Tammy's condition would worsen, leading her to pass out for 3.5 2.5 weeks whilst on life support, during which Amy would begin the GoFundMe.
And this was all
to
fake?
Amy's credit, it probably was pretty scary having your overweight, unhealthy sister.
Oh, so all of that happened, she just didn't die.
However, to begin planning,
her coffin is gonna cost them more because they have to triple the size of the coffin.
Whilst mentioning that Tammy was on a medical card, however, the amount of money it provided would not be enough.
Is that a real thing? I mean, I guess it has to be, right? I'm guessing they would have to, like, supersize that.
Please find it in your heart to donate.
The GoFundMe itself, which would raise a total of $818.
Wow, wait, what? They asked less for this super quadruple freight container coffin than they did for the MacBook. They had $10K for a MacBook and $1,500 for a super coffin.
Clarify that. Or I'm going to take it up to the funeral home where it can build interest. I probably will take it to the funeral home and let it build interest. So if something does happen...
Alright, someone more knowledgeable than me. Can you do that? You can just put money into a funeral home like a bank and it'll gain interest? What? I'm investing in the funeral stock. So that's not a real thing. I can't believe it. You telling me I can't invest in funeral homes?
So when it was confirmed that there was no funeral, a new question had been created. Where had the money gone?
I gave it to my mother, who paid bills.
However, when her audience would ask her to prove it, she'd state that it was her mother's responsibility to provide the receipts.
My mom is trying to find the receipts. I know I've been wrong. I should not have thrown receipts away. But in my head, I wasn't thinking, well, these receipts might come to bite me in the ass. You know, I wasn't thinking that. It was a simple mistake.
However, if the GoFundMe had been done online, then surely she was using internet banking. Why couldn't she provide a screenshot of the bank transfer to her mother? Medical bill receipts.
Yeah, these two are like just actual pieces of shit.
The most interesting part about the whole ordeal is that while most disgraced YouTubers simply fade into obscurity as the years go by, the Slayton sisters have managed to remain relevant after rolling their public image into a TLC show titled 1,000 Pound Sisters, on which Amy has since lost over 100 pounds, has gotten married, had a baby, and is looking healthy compared to her early days on YouTube. Wow. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Tammy, whose continual weight gain underpins much of the show's entertainment factor. The show just had its third season with well over 1 million viewers per episode.
Wow. Whoa. I didn't expect that ending. That kind of caught me off guard. Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, I don't feel as bad for them now after learning about them, like, killing dogs, basically. Neglecting them, putting them in hot cars. So it's hard to find sympathy for where they're at right now. And the scamming, of course. But the dog thing in particular made me very sad. This is so this story is one that I've covered on stream a couple times. I find this whole saga very, very interesting. I wonder how many like OG Twitch viewers we have in the chat right now, because this is vintage. This is like a fine wine of internet cringe and drama. This was like the first big Twitch drama story. This man right here, Zillion OP. He used to stream League of Legends in a wheelchair. I believe he talked about disabilities, as well as even did like charitable things for disabilities, if memory serves me correctly. And then eventually during a stream, he inexplicably stands up and walks to the bathroom after being in the chair for his entire streaming career. It was one of the most miraculous moments ever captured on film. That guy must have bought Peter Popoff's holy water or something, because in that moment he could walk yet again and everything was fine. And then once he was caught with his pants down, I think he's tried to defend himself saying, I never explicitly said I was disabled forever. So he said it was like only a temporary wheelchair, and that he didn't actually mislead people. I'm a little foggy on the details, but the story is a wild one. So I'm glad Sunny V2 is covering it.
Incident, he'd go on to create a Twitch account before gaining a reputation for his personality, gaming skills, and finally, his physical disability as a wheelchair streamer. For some reason, Zillion wasn't actually disabled. That would be until January 2013, approximately 6 months after beginning his
I thought it was a lot longer.
When Zillion OP's promotional Facebook page would be hacked, creating initial suspicions that his apparent disability was nothing more than one giant hoax. I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's a chip-in button for a charity. Let me steal your money, maybe. We're not like you, sir. We wouldn't mess with your PayPal.
What the fuck is this?
We're above stealing money from those in need. Hey guys, I'm sick. Donate to me to pay my hospital bills. I'm giving away a keyboard that was given to me by another fool who doesn't care that I scam my viewers for money. Hi guys, who wants to raise money for some kids? For example, on the 10th of January 2013, just 10 days before his Facebook was hacked, he'd be banned on Diablo 3 as a result of beginning his stream whilst having a body botting script acting. The incident will be shared to Reddit, receiving over 700 upvotes, with a post also explaining that Zillion lied to his audience about the ban, stating that it was for account sharing as opposed to the reality for botting. Although,
man, that is some classic Reddit. I have a disappoint. Does the narwhal bacon at midnight, brothers? I didn't know he had like a history of scamming. I actually thought it was just that one event. I thought he had a really positive reputation up until he fucking stood up like the Undertaker getting up from a bad fall. Just raising from the wheelchair and going to get a snack or whatever.
4 months later, on the 5th of April 2013, something would happen while Zillion was streaming, proving this Reddit comment correct, whilst ending Zillion's entire career in the process.
Watch, check it out. Get on your mount and follow me.
Maybe I don't want to follow you.
God, this clip is classic.
Our dog, oh my god! We took our dog, like, to the fish shop today because the dog loves just.
I can't believe it! Oh, I am. Oh my god! Anything is possible!
If you believe that actions speak louder than
and then a
words,
poltergeist
Zillion turning his camera
tilts the
downwards
camera.
to hide his empty wheelchair was basically
we
the
weren't
same
meant to
as
see
him
that.
saying, I've just exposed myself doing something that I definitely shouldn't have been doing. However, the chat would continue to discuss what they had just seen, and seemingly in a state of panic, Zillion joined the discussion by both gaslighting and lying to his audience about what had just.
So how do you even come back from that? Like, okay, everyone knows Twitch chat has some of the dumbest fucking people of all time. That's just the internet in general. And of course people were going to defend him, but how? Like, I can't even wrap my head around how you would possibly explain away the fact that this guy, who has led you to believe that he is in a wheelchair, all of a sudden just stood up and then tilted his camera down and ended stream. What the fuck? Did Zill just stand? No, I fell. I pushed off my chair and ate it. That was the most controlled fall of all time. Yeah, I was gonna say that I figured you were holding yourself up with your arms. The delusion is always crazy. Oh my god. This is bad. Even blaming the dog. That's real low. That's real low. And this just makes me lose any amount of faith in, like, common sense here. They all just watched him stand up. He didn't fall. And the dog pouring water on his wires wouldn't all of a sudden knock his webcam straight down. People just believe fucking anything.
Zillion deleting any comments calling him out instantly suggested that he was guilty. His story didn't exactly
No, he was just embarrassed
If
of
he had
falling.
really fallen out of his seat, how was he able to get up and move the camera so that it was no longer facing the empty wheelchair? Additionally, after the VOD was clipped, viewers noticed that Zillion walked away without...
Do you remember a bit ago when we watched a recent interview about this situation? Yeah, I can't remember what he said though. It was like an hour and a half long and I can't remember a fucking word that he said about it. Do you remember? Because I don't. I'm sure it'll be in this video, but let's just get a little, you know, deep into the manga here. Because he had some kind of, like, outrageous excuse or something. The earthquake was so intense that it wobbled him to steady feet the entire time. Like gyroscopic.
So, what a day. I wake up
True,
to
it
be
might have been
informed
Clara.
of what has happened. I read all the articles, all I can say is karma. You deserve everything you have coming to you, Zillion. I do hope you put those legs to use and get a real job. You owe a lot of people money now. What I find funniest about this is your terrible cover-up of it all. The streaming business is a much better place without creeps like you in it. Oh, and by the way, this isn't James. It's Matt in brackets Hypno, you fool, with Hypno being an old friend that Zillion used to stream with from around 1 year prior.
I called it. I knew it'd be a friend.
So
it is reprehensible.
His actions are a huge slap in the face to Twitch community members with real disabilities such as Aaron and groups such as Able Gamers who have helped spread a message of inclusiveness and positivity to not only the Twitch
This is a really good
community,
statement
but
from
gaming
Twitch.
as a whole.
Twitch should do shit like this now. Like, if there's a really bad actor and they do take a stance against it, this is a good statement. Like, this is actually a good PR piece. But this is 2013 Twitch. Maybe they don't have this same group here.
There's Zillion. He has legs. We got Zillion. It should be.
Nice.
It's live. They're gonna go nuts. They're gonna be like, "What, Zillion?" Because no one's seen you since it went. He has no beard. Look at this. No beard. Look at how much he lifts.
Oh, he upgraded.
Shaved his 20. However, this would change once again when the internet would discover a channel that looks suspiciously familiar, going by the name of It's Bluish. The streamer running this suspicious page was clearly Zillion, and it would hilariously be the person who originally hacked his Facebook page in 2013, who would once again expose him.
Damn, this guy's like the Batman.
Subreddit in a post.
Zillion's his Joker.
Me at concerts.
me out traveling, me out doing everything. This was just like I was in a wheelchair. I did get better, and I am obviously no longer in a wheelchair.
Unless for some reason Zillion had lived a year of his life in a wheelchair for the sole purpose of looking disabled prior to beginning his streaming journey, it was basically confirmed that Zillion was most certainly disabled, or at least had been temporarily. Throughout the interview, it feels as though Zillion is speaking in a way that's truthful. It doesn't feel like he's trying to hide anything. So under the assumption that this whole discussion wasn't yet another lie, here's what they discovered. Firstly, Zillion wasn't lying about either the car accident or needing to be in a wheelchair.
I was in a wheelchair for 2 years. I was in a car accident, which put me in a wheelchair for more than a year prior to streaming.
Okay. And therefore, the disability was never fabricated.
When you are integrating your disability so much in stream that it may have put off a certain image that you were wheelchair bound when you weren't. Are you willing to admit that perhaps?
The big thing is, I remember now when we watched this, he still tried to cover it up by saying he fell out of the chair because he didn't want to admit he didn't need the wheelchair anymore. So it's still entirely his fault for misleading everyone. Like, even to the bitter end of that channel, he was still lying when he stood up, and it was accidental. He didn't want people to know. If that didn't happen, he may very well have done that for forever, years down the line, until he fucked up. So it's, again, it's not like it was just, oh, it was an accident. I didn't want people to, you know, it wasn't like I was trying to hide this. I guess I just was a victim of my own hubris for trying to battle these things in private, and I should have shared more. Well, no, he blatantly lied. Like, he did blatantly lie when he stood up. He tried to say he fell, the dog spilled water and ate his homework, which is why the webcam tilted down. So, I still think that it is entirely scummy.
However, it did seem like Twitch was in the process of unbanning his OG Zillion account, so perhaps he'll have another opportunity to do his stream the right way in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really address the lying about it at the end when he was revealed to be no longer wheelchair bound. But yeah, that is a wild story. I do remember that one as it unfolded. It's always nice to get a refresher on exactly what that was. I'm Jaystation, the shittiest YouTuber on the website, the shittiest person on the website. You either know him from the videos I made last year talking about some of his fucked up shit, or you just know him from the absolutely horrible content that he produces. He's the guy that does only those 3 a.m. things where he exploits a celebrity's death for money, calling Mac Miller at 3 a.m., calling Etika at 3 a.m., calling XXXTentacion at 3 a.m. He said my dick was massive and said to subscribe. Terrible, terrible garbage. He looks like if a hemorrhoid was brought to life, and he sounds like if someone was shoving nails in your ears. He says the word guys 1,000,000 times per video to the point where it makes it seem like that word has no meaning anymore. He's just this fucking YouTuber pinworm, and I know you watch these videos, Jason, and I know you're too fucking stupid to spell pinworm to Google what that is yourself, so I'll tell you. The pinworms are the parasites that live in your asshole, usually when you're a baby and they make it super itchy. That's what you are, a shit-eating parasite. But what he's done this time has just gone way too far. He's faked his girlfriend's death for views and sympathy, and he uses it just to promote a second channel. And it's not like he makes it a skit or lets the audience know it's fake. He tries to convince them that the girl they liked in his videos is dead, just fucking brutalized by a drunk driver, rotting 6 feet in the ground now because of it, and all she wanted was 1,000,000 subscribers on a second channel, and that's all it's used for, to promote the second channel and make people, you know, feel like they have to support her memory. He keeps saying all she wants is 1,000,000 subscribers on this second channel. It's all she wanted, and then he links the channel. It's fucking disgusting, really. And it's not like this is the only fucked up thing he's done recently. For example, he made this video here, buying a slave off the dark web. Jason, are you fucking kidding me? Also, I didn't know this until today, but a YouTuber named Mimi made this video here, and in it she talks about when Jason flew from Canada to Texas to hang out with a minor and spend the night alone with her. And Mimi conducted an interview with that girl, and she said she stayed awake all night just because she was paranoid about what Jason might try. That's your fucking legacy, Jason. You fly thousands of miles to hang out with a minor who is afraid of you and feels like you're such a weirdo you might try something when you're alone. But anyway, before we get too sidetracked with his track record of terrible, awful, deplorable shit, let's show you his recent one. Here's a video where he announces his girlfriend's death.
What's up, guys? I never wanted to make a video like this, ever. Last night around 11 p.m., I got a call from her parents telling me what happened. As you guys probably know, we had a channel together called Dream Team. We just hit 300,000 subscribers. Her dream was just to get 1 million subscribers, and we were so close to doing that, guys. After talking with her parents, we both agreed that I should post the remainder videos that we filmed for that channel on that channel. It was her dream to get 1 million subscribers, so out of respect for her, because I know that's what she would want, I'm gonna post those videos there.
Ah yes, nothing sounds more genuine when announcing someone's death, quite like constantly promoting a fucking YouTube channel. And of course, like all loving and good parents, less than 24 hours after their child's death, they want their YouTube channel to pop the fuck off, baby. Let's get some clout on that YouTube channel. Their child is dead. Can we get 1 million subscribers? Oh, of course, that sounds just like what a parent would do in their mourning. Yeah, while they're grieving, I'm sure they gave this limp-dick loser permission to start posting videos on that channel. In fact, they probably just encouraged it. I'm honestly surprised Jason doesn't have video filming their parents crying. Of course, this is all fake, but in the event that it was real, I'd be surprised if Jason didn't try and film the shit out of it to exploit that. This shit is incredibly fake. Yeah, I was half expecting her to pop out of that fucking Egyptian sarcophagus behind him, but that didn't happen because he's trying to play it off as something real to try and grow that channel through sympathy like this. Now, I didn't want to talk about this until it was 100% confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt to be faked, which it has. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the girl did really quit and leave Jason behind because he's apparently so insufferable and creepy. By the way, Jason, when I made those 2 videos about you last year, your former friends and some of the people you still work with reached out to me on Instagram to shit on you and try and expose you. But I just didn't care enough about you as a person to read through everything they sent, but it looks like not even your friends like you. But you are apparently a big piece of shit in the real world, so I do think she probably quit and he came up with this narrative to spin this, to gain subscribers on that channel and just get some quick views out of it. And now, when I said it's been confirmed beyond a shadow of doubt to be faked, I'll go into detail on what I mean. A YouTuber named Muda from Some Ordinary Gamers did extensive research on the subject because he felt genuinely bad for Jason in this situation because he believed it. But he wanted to confirm it because there was not a lot to go on, so he did a ton of research. In a follow-up video that Jaystation posted, he visited the exact spot that she allegedly perished in the car accident. Muda and a bunch of other internet detectives were able to find exactly what road that was, and there was nothing in the reports that indicate that any fatal drunk driving accident had occurred during the time period. And to go even a step further, Muda contacted the fucking police department of the area to just do this all-encompassing, once and for all, is it real, is it fake? He calls the police department and he films the conversation with the officer's consent, and the officer confirms once and for all that no one by the name of Alexia had perished in a drunk driving accident or in general. There was only one case with anyone named Alexia, and it wasn't fatal or anything like that, or even remotely associated with a drunk driving accident. So I think it's safe to say that it is a faked stunt for views and subscribers. Also, I don't like saying Jason faked his girlfriend's death because that implies he put effort into the ruse, which he absolutely did not. He made a crying video that was just super shitty. He also didn't know where tears come from because he kept wiping his eyebrows as if his fucking eyebrows were leaking. It was terrible and he put no effort into it. When you say faked your girlfriend's death, I was expecting some Looney Tunes shit like Jason tricked her into going into a house to get like $5,000 from the counter, but then Jason on the outside had like this fucking cartoon plunger and he pushes it and the house blows up. That would be faking her death. What he did was just lie about her dying. That's significantly less effort and also shittier. It's so fucking terrible, and the whole thing is pathetic. Somehow Jason is constantly able to find new ways of being pitiful, and even to a certain extent I kind of feel bad for him because he is so infected by his own ego that he will stoop to low levels that we've never seen before on this platform. Just such a sad, sad man, really. That's about it. See ya.